John, welcome to our first broadcast from inside my car. People are asking me if I'm homeless, but I'm not. There's a number of technical reasons why I've put together this car broadcasting system here. How are you tonight, John?
Great. Sounds great. Sounds like you're in an acoustic isolation booth or something like that.
Well, I don't know if I ever told you this, but when I bought this car, I took the whole thing apart and put all kinds of sound. People are asking if I'm, whoops, is there a browser open
Oops.
somewhere? It's okay.
Yep, I killed
put
it.
all kinds of soundproofing material in the interior of the doors, and I've recreated basically every aspect of the New York studio in this car, including active noise cancellation, high bitrate internet. I'm working on mobile high bitrate internet. That'll be the next phase of the plan. But tonight we're going to talk about another technological breakthrough, which is Space Force. They're 5 years old. It's the fifth anniversary, the birthday or whatever you want to call it, of Space Force. What have you prepared for us today, John?
Well, it seemed apropos, given all that crap flying around all over the place. And 5 years in, are these guys ready? I mean, is it showtime? And if it's not showtime,
what does Space
when
Force
is it?
do? Has it done anything?
Well, that's why we're here. We've got a whole bunch of content to look at. What do these guys do? And I don't. There's probably people watching the show that are subscribers to Netflix. And Netflix has had a show called Space Force with Steve Carell and Malkovich. Frickin' John Malkovich is on the show.
Is it a comedy with Steve Carell?
Yeah, yes. So it's kind of like The Office in space. And it's kind of ridiculous. So we've got a couple clips that
I like that.
Yeah, when we get to the patron-only portion, we've got some clips from Netflix's send-up of Space Force. So they were already making fun of it a year in. But I thought it was apropos because Space Force literally was started today 5 years ago. So December 20th, 2019 was when President Trump made a declaration. And I think he was at Mar-a-Lago. I think it was with Mike Pence. And he's got Mitch McConnell's Chinese shipping wife next to him. And he makes a declaration about forming Space Force. And this is exactly 5 years ago, almost like this minute.
Wow.
Right? Like 7:30 Eastern time, he makes the announcements. I mean, it's like it literally happened 5 years ago, this moment.
Wow.
And when it happened, it seemed a bit out of place. It seemed a bit like, what? Space Force? What are we doing? It wasn't like there was a Star Trek movie coming out that week or something. It wasn't like he had Chris Pine with him. It wasn't like he had the new Star Trek crew. So it's like, what's this all about? Why is he doing? What's this? What's going on? And so, I have this tendency to kind of connect strange things. So I start looking around in other places for weird things going on. And sure enough, I found some weird things going on the day before and the week before he started Space Force. And the things that were happening a week before and what have you, kind of similar to what's been going on the last couple of weeks in New Jersey. And the thing about what's going on in New Jersey is New Jersey feels a lot like a card trick to me. Because it's also happening in Georgia, and it's also happening in Oregon, and it's also happening in a bunch of different places.
But they just stopped talking about that. It was like every news show, every minute of every day for a week, and then just cut off.
Stopped, right. And it stopped.
Cut off.
Stopped, right. And it stopped.
What's up with that? And did they decide what those are, those mystery drones?
We're going to take a closer look at it because in different places, it seems we're seeing different things. And in different places, it seems we're seeing different things. And the different things that we're seeing are consistent. Different things that we're seeing are consistent with other things that have been seen in the past. And that's kind of the gist of the show here is we're going to look back in time a little bit to say, well, wait a second, the stuff that we're seeing this week, last week, the weeks, last couple of weeks, is this similar to stuff that we've seen in the past? And if so, when? Because, in other words, if we're seeing all this stuff in the last week or 10 days, and we saw a bunch of similar stuff in the same period of time 5 years ago. Is there something to this? Is this a time of year when this activity picks up and we're only becoming aware of it because people are now pointing their iPhones in the sky at night? And we weren't really doing that 5 years ago, 6 years ago. People weren't doing the night stuff. The iPhones weren't that good at the night stuff. Now these iPhone, you got all the ones with the 5 lenses and crap. They're really good at night photography. Remember when we did that night walk in Vegas?
Yeah.
We were like in shock how good that came out. It was like, my God, this is incredible. It came out so good. Walking at night in Vegas. I was stunned by that. So the fact that we're able to do that kind of point to the sky and look at stuff, I don't know, 10 years ago we weren't really able to do that well. The stuff came out, like a potato all the time. But they're starting to get sharper footage. And we had we've had some sessions where the government has come forward and shown footage, and we've played it here on the show before. We've got that queued up. We're going to share some of that with the patrons. But why don't we show? There's a thing or two we can show to the YouTube audience. So let's start with our deck. I think we got a birthday cake. We've got a 5-year birthday cake here. So why don't we share a couple of slides in the deck if you can do that? Now, in order for you to do that, do you have to hit the windshield wiper now, or it's all still self-contained?
No, it's all self-contained.
There's no wiper.
It should be working well, although
right, so
we are getting
controls.
some interference. You were saying it's amazing, man. This has been working so well, high speed up and down, and now something is messing with it, but I think we're still going here. Anyway,
all right, let's keep through my. I'm as close as I can get. All right, so 5th-year birthday for. I apologize. It's definitely my connection, I'm sure.
No, there's all kinds of things going on. It's always, John. We have a tendency to make it look easy, but trust me, it never is. And also, there's a million jackasses who
make it look easy. I don't do it.
A lot of jackasses who are trying to thwart me. And extra hard. I don't know if you've been. Before we get to the deck, I just wanted to ask if you had seen any of the recent interaction. Based on what you were saying about the drones, our friend, boy billionaire Palmer Luckey was getting his underpants in a knot once again. He got into an argument with me. Did you see any of that? Here's another guy.
Recently, another.
Yes, like last night, he was going crazy, trying to tell me about how. Yeah, here he is. He's getting all upset about, lasers. He's telling me that infrared lasers, that I'm an idiot and that they would be red on camera. So, I just did this to show him that dot is as close to white as you can get. And I don't know what the hell he thinks this is, but, I'm not the biggest expert.
Styro, they're not red. Dude, we did a whole Styro Pyro episode on infrared. They're not red on camera. They're white. Exactly. All right, tell him if he wants to buy dinner. He wants you to stop peeing in his.
This is a new one that I haven't seen. He says it's very obviously isn't white. The red fringing is extremely clear. IR lasers. He's such a douchebag because what I've got right here is I've got the thumb drop, the eyedropper from Photoshop on the laser, and it's telling us 255 red, 255 green, 246 blue. This is very close to white. This guy is a friggin' maniac, first of all, because he's wrong and he just can't admit it. And he's arguing with me here. Shouldn't he be doing some billionaire shit rather than...
Yeah, he's a sociopath. He thinks he's smarter than everybody in the room. And when somebody shows up that can play to his game, he hates that shit. I mean, that's why we're not that popular, to tell you the truth. I mean, it's like, we show up and we know what we're talking about, and we kind of make everybody else look stupid. And you do it, with all this technical stuff.
Something is fucking with this. This thing was working great, and now we're buffering like crazy. So we're gonna have to. We'll continue through the next 20 minutes here, and then we'll reset this phone that I'm broadcasting from, and we'll be back for the sponsor exclusive segment. People are going to be able to join us for that on subscribestar.com/IamJohnCullen, patreon.com/IamJohnCullen, and all of the crowdsourced, the Truth channels, Odyssey, etc. And what we'll do, John, is We'll just rebroadcast a clean version of this intro after we're done. But I'm going to reset the connection. There's high-speed internet going here. I don't understand what the hell the problem is, but it's always something, isn't it?
All right, we'll keep it in the deck, and this way we will do the videos after we restart everything.
Yeah.
So let's look at the deck. 2 weeks ago, we did a Black Friday special at great Christmas gifts for the audience. And we were looking at the Terminator. We were looking at the flamethrower and all that. I don't know if you can go to the next slide. So it turns out that one of the guys in the audience, one of our patrons, bought the flamethrower,
Wow.
not the dog. Go to the next slide. Go to the next slide. So he didn't get the dog one for
He sent you this?
But no, wait, you're going to see on the next slide. So, we looked at the dog, we looked at the drone, and we looked at the base unit. Now, the base unit you can hand hold or you can mount underneath your AR. So, yeah, go to the next slide. Michael, who's a patron of ours, said, dude, I ordered it, and he got it from Amazon.
Wow.
So he ordered the model from Amazon. And he got it. And he said it was, $350. He ordered the backpack. And if you go to the next slide, you'll see you can actually buy this on Amazon. Now, this is a slightly different model. This is Pulsefire, and it's only $518.
But why is
so
this
if you
legal?
yet,
What is the legitimate purpose for this other than being an arsonist?
I don't know. We'll have to ask Socrates or something. But in the meantime, for those of you who are looking for a great gift for your husband, to clear the brush in the backyard, or to keep the bobcats away, nothing beats a flamethrower. Nothing says "I love you, honey" than a flamethrower you can mount underneath your AR-15. So that's been a big success, and I'm thrilled that this guy Mike got one. I think that's awesome. I mean, I love that our audience actually does this stuff. I also have been hearing from people about the binoculars. A bunch of people, if you go to the next slide, a bunch of people have said that they actually thought that was a great idea and